Okay, so the next hands-on tutorial I want to kind of look through quickly is control your AWS costs here in the Cloud Financial Management. So what I want to do is I want to open that, and it says in this tutorial learn how to control your costs while exploring AWS service offerings using the AWS free tier. In addition, you'll also learn to use AWS budgets to set up a cost budget to monitor end costs associated to your usage. Okay, so basically, I'm making sure that this is beginner, 10 minutes, free tier eligible. It requires an AWS account, recommend the browser. Okay, so basically, what it's sort of saying is in this tutorial, you learn how to understand the free tier, review your spend and usage, and set up a cost budget. Quite quick. So this shouldn't kind of take too long because we basically have already got a AWS account set up, ready to go. We've been looking at a few of these kind of services already as part of our kind of exam preparation. And what we'll do here is says open the free tier. Yes, that's okay. That's okay. Explore the 12 months free offers. I'm not going to do this because we've kind of looked at this a little bit kind of before, but I mean, um, you can sort of say free here. You can go to free tier here, you know, and you can kind of look down through a lot of these services here on what's basically free tier. Go into info. You have some information here about all of these using a free tier, eligible free tier limits. You can sort of see a lot of information here about what your actual free tier does provide. Huge amount of information here that AWS actually provides. But really, kind of going back to the hands-on, how to control your budget, access the always free page. Yeah, like we've sort of seen these. Make sure you kind of do this. Access the free trials page is kind of different kind of page here. Explore the free trials. You can set up a lot of these kind of services and everything as part of that. Then it sort of says there's no additional charge associated with using AWS Billing Console. So here what you're going to do first of all is in the step you'll use the billing console to review your overall spend and free tier usage. After you log in, go to choose billing dashboard. So go to your billing dashboard. Go to my billing dashboard. Just here. Month to date cost is €10. Okay, so that basically means that I have something running that actually cost me €10. So just to be kind of clear, cost and usage breakdown, total costs, download. Let's see if we can open this here. So it doesn't tell me an awful lot, but we'll find out what that actually is. Looks like it was in January, which is the month we're in. So just be kind of clear, there's Cost Explorer. Let's sort of see. Choose by Sarah Supply Filters. So what I want to do is actually I want to go back to home here, and you can sort of see the budget status says up required, so there's no budget created here. So right now I don't have a huge amount. I don't have a huge amount of actually billing, but if I kind of go down to my cost breakdown here, you can see here the upstream. The upstream is the one that was basically the biggest cost for me in January, and then the tax here. So I have to make sure that the kind of upstream, is removed, and everything is removed because I don't want to kind of incurring costs. So I'm gonna kind of watch that right now. It's like it's 1080, but after this video I'll basically go into upstream and just make sure that everything is 100% deleted It's always good to kind of recheck. But basically, if you kind of go in here, go back into your tutorial here, you sort of see access the billing dashboard, which we did, review your billing, which we kind of did, access the free tier, um, which we did, I believe. We did. Went in here, sorry, and then here, analyze your free tier. That's what you basically would get. Modify your free tier limits. Set up a cost budget. So in the navigation pane, select budgets, budgets, which is here, and create a budget. I'm assuming create a budget. Yes, create a budget. Here it sort of says, create a budget. Choose a budget type. Choose cost budget on the budget types. Cost budget. So let's sort of see cost budget simplified. This looks to be slightly different budget types. Cost budget. Use a template simplified. Zero budget cost. Monthly cost budget. Looks like you can just do a monthly cost budget now. Zero spend budget. Create a zero spend. Oh, here, this is nice as well. Create a budget that notifies you once your spending exceeds one cent, which is above the AWS free tier. So I've kind of done this a few times actually. This is really kind of nice. So I'm just going to actually create a real kind of budget here because my zero spend budget. I definitely want to ensure that I have one of these set up. I actually haven't done this for the new account here, so I'm going to do that now, and it makes sense, right? So basically, when I kind of go over my spending limit, um, these are the people that will basically get emailed. So say I've actually gone over that threshold. All AWS services are in scope of this budget. This is exactly what we want. So it says you'll be notified via email when you spend, above one sentence incurred, and create your budget. So here, um, go in here, I can sort of see I've basically already gone on. So you can see my zero spend budget here, help budget. I've exceeded here, so I should sort of see the alert here. But I can sort of see here, current budgeted, I've gone over, greatly on my, as we sort of said, I've gone over greatly on my AppStream demo. So I just want to kind of make sure that that is okay. So if I'm going to go back into budgets, you can actually sort of see here, I've actually gone over. So um, I want to just kind of make sure that I go and check that out. Monthly budget, yeah, so I've kind of done this. The screenshots look a little bit kind of different, but configure alert when the actual cost exceeds 80% of the threshold. You can do it for whichever percentage you basically want, but I'm going to leave it at 100%. Set alert threshold, so you can set up different kind of alerts, and in there, you can still see here alerts, view all alerts, when so when it's over like 1%, the alert threshold will be exceeded. Edit alerts, you can update it here to be like as they sort of say here, your threshold of 80% here. So here you'd need to sort of say percent of budget allocated, so you'd have to change here. This would have to be 80 if you're going to follow this exactly true. It's up to you, what you actually what you set it up to be. So threshold is 80%, email recipients, actual costs. Then you can just review all of that and kind of save it, and your budget then is basically kind of updated and created. So it's not very difficult, and Amazon make it really kind of really cool for you to actually be able to do this, and then you can kind of update this to be 100% if you want. Add another threshold, you can kind of add another threshold when it kind of becomes like 100% of then your budgeted. Um, and these are the kind of screens that we sort of saw before. So that's all good. And here you can sort of see the alerts and the health budget that we were basically looking at a minute ago. And then in conclusion, it just says you've learned how to actually control your costs because basically you've set up a budget into your account that's basically looking for a specified criteria. The basis says if I go over my budget, you know, um, please alert me, which is really good because you want to be alerted. This. Remember that. I mean, we're learning for you know an exam here, but in real life, your spending could grow massively, and you want to make sure that everything is accounted for because you don't want to have really large bills um, unless it's expected. So it would be a fairly nasty um, shock. But also, kind of one thing here is also you've got a pricing calculator, so you can kind of go in here and put in the kind of services and your kind of usage and things like that, and really it should kind of give you some type of pricing of what it would basically kind of cost. So that's another kind of cool feature of AWS. But we'll kind of get to that as we kind of go through the rest of these services.